Hi friends, in this DIY tutorial I'll show you step by step how easy it is to add wireless Apple CarPlay, wireless Android Auto and even screen mirroring to a MIB1 or MIB2 multimedia unit found on many Volkswagen Group models. I'll be installing this module on a Golf 7 equipped with MIB1, but exactly the same procedure applies to all the models shown on the screen. In case you're not exactly sure what Apple CarPlay and Android Auto are, they give you access to essential apps such as Waze, Google Maps, YouTube Music, Spotify, and many others directly on your car screen. This means you no longer need to use your phone while driving, and many functions can even be controlled using voice commands. We all know that using a phone while driving is extremely dangerous both for you and for other road users. That's exactly why a device like this has become almost essential nowadays. With this module, you keep all the car's original functions. The audio quality remains exactly the same for both music and phone calls because the system uses the car's original microphone. And the best part is that it comes at a very affordable price. So why replace your car with a newer one, which may not even be as reliable as older models, when you can install this module yourself in less than 1 hour? This is the AUTOABC module, which will completely transform your driving experience. As you've already seen on my channel, I've installed products from this company before and they have never disappointed me. If you want to order it, you'll find both the product link and the link to the official AUTOABC website in the description. You'll also find the discount code there, which in my opinion is definitely worth using. All you have to do is search for your car model or multimedia unit, check compatibility and the available functions, add the product to your cart, and finally enter the code GOLF20%. This will give you a 20% discount, bringing the final price down to approximately 140 euros. In my opinion, it's worth every cent. But you'll be able to decide for yourself by the end of the video. Let's see what we find inside the box. This is the star of today's episode, the module itself. It is a metal box small enough to fit inside the pocket, and it is the device that does all the work. Basically, the device adds a Linux operating system, and with a simple long press of a button, you can instantly switch between the car's original system and the new interface. The ports are labeled. On the back we have the connectors, and here we have a dip switch where we'll need to make a few settings that we'll talk about later. This is where the LVDS cable connects so we can retain the car's original menu, and this is where the Wi-Fi antenna connects. Next we have the main wiring harness and the quad lock connectors, which will connect to the original multimedia unit and to the connector that originally plugs into the unit, creating a bypass. Here we also have the mic out connector, which will connect to a mic in connector on the other wiring harness. This is the second wiring harness. It includes the camera inputs and a USB port for wired Android Auto in case you don't want the connection to be wireless only. In many cases, owners choose not to use it. This is the mic-in connector I mentioned earlier, which will connect in order to retain the car's original microphone. Here we have the LVDS wiring, where we will also create a bypass for the video signal. This is an aux to AMI adapter for some low-spec multimedia units. We won't need it in today's video, but it can be connected to the aux cable on the main harness using an intermediate cable. Here we have the Wi-Fi antenna, which screws onto the module, followed by two plastic trim removal tools that will help us avoid scratching any interior panels during installation, the main menu removal keys that must always be inserted like this in order to remove the multimedia unit from the glove box, and of course the English instruction manual, which you won't need because I'll guide you step by step over the next few minutes. Let's go to the car and start the installation. First we open the side cover of the dashboard on the passenger side, where we find a single screw. We won't disconnect the connector from the side panel because that would trigger an airbag error. Anyway, we won't be working in that area, so it won't get in our way. Next we remove the 3 screws from the upper part of the glove box and another 2 from the lower part. There is one final screw hidden behind the multimedia unit, which I'll show you a little later. All the screws are T20 Torx and have the same length and thread. To remove the multimedia unit, we'll use the 2 special removal keys included in the package. Insert the keys with the flat side facing outward until you hear a click. If you heard that click, it means the unit is unlocked and can now be pulled out. Now we'll disconnect all the cables from the back. I'll use a pick tool to show you the retaining clips for each connector and how I'll remove them one by one. I use the plastic trim removal tool as a lever to remove the other two connectors. We still need to remove the quad lock connector. We'll keep this clip pressed and pull the lever. Now the multimedia unit is out, so we'll put it aside because we don't need it for the moment. In order to lower the glove box, we need to loosen these trim pieces located next to the center console. After removing the torque screw, we'll unclip this trim piece and then, using the plastic trim removal tool, we'll release this one from its clips without completely removing it. This will allow us to lower the glove box without any problems. Behind the multimedia unit, we have the final screw holding the glove box in place. Once we remove it, the glove box will drop down a few centimeters. There is no need to completely remove it. We can leave it like this for now because we already have all the space we need. We'll route the cables through here and place the module above the glove box together with all its accessories. I'll connect one of the quad lock connectors from the supplied wiring harness to the car's original wiring. You can't mix them up because one is male and the other is female. Make sure the locking lever is raised before connecting it, otherwise the connector will not go in completely. Once the connector is inserted, lower the lever to lock it into position. This connector needs to reach the module, so we'll route it behind the glove box. Now we take the other quad lock connector and connect mic in to mic out. I'll bundle all these cables together using electrical tape so I can pull them more easily through the back of the multimedia unit opening and up above the glove box. Of course, I'll also secure the connections using electrical tape so there is no risk of them coming apart. Now we take the LVDS connector and connect the gray connector to the light blue one. The other connector will go into the multimedia unit to create the bypass for the module. We screw the Wi-Fi antenna into the back of the module, then connect the blue LVDS cable to the corresponding port on the module power connector, and the connector for the USB and RCA ports. Now I'll take this opportunity to show you how to connect both a reverse camera and the front camera, because this is another advantage of this module and it is quite simple. We'll need the RCA video connector together with the pink wire for cars with automatic transmissions. For cars with manual transmissions, instead of the pink wire, we'll connect the brown wire labeled back and another wire to the reverse light. I'll use a lighter to remove the insulation from the wire. This is a universal camera, but the connections are identical for cameras integrated into the tailgate or trunk handle as well. We'll connect the red wire, which supplies power to the camera, to the pink wire. The black wire is not required. We connect the RCA plugs, splice the wires together, and that's it. In order to test the camera, I'll connect all the cables to the module as follows. If you don't have a camera to connect, you still need to make all the cable connections to the module because this will be the final configuration. Before the first test, we check the position of the dip switches. For this Golf 7 with a 7-inch screen, the switches from 1 to 7 remain off, while switch number 8 must be moved to on. If you don't get an image on the first attempt, don't worry, disconnect the power connector, wait approximately 10 seconds, change the switch positions, and try again. And here we have the result. The camera works perfectly. If the camera functions are not detected automatically by the module, you need to enter the settings and make sure aftermarket camera is selected. I'll continue by showing you how to install the front camera. We simply change the RCA connection to the other yellow connector. Both cameras receive power from the same 12-volt wire. To access the front camera, you simply select the camera button from the module's menu. A camera like this can be very useful both when parking and when pulling out of areas with limited visibility. Now let's return to positioning the module. Ideally, we should use some felt or another material that absorbs vibrations and prevents rattling noises. However, since it was the weekend and the stores were closed, I improvised using what I had available. It is important not to cover the sides of the module because those are its ventilation openings. This will be the final location of the module. Before installing the glove box, it is very important to pull as much of the excess wiring as possible above the glove box. If too many wires remain behind the multimedia unit, the unit will no longer fit completely back into place. In our case, this cable needs to be positioned above the multimedia unit while we gently push the unit back in by hand so that it can click into position. Once it has clicked into place, we can remove the release keys by pulling them out. After positioning the glove box back into place and securing it over that metal clip, don't forget to reinstall the screw. We reassemble everything in the reverse order of removal, including the side cover and the trim pieces next to the center console, and that's it. The moment of truth. We select the source, which in our case is Bluetooth audio, hold down the media button, and the new Linux operating system launches instantly, giving us access to Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, and screen mirroring. For the audio to work through aux, select aux as the source from the car's multimedia menu, then enter the module settings and disable the Use Car Bluetooth option. To activate CarPlay or Android Auto, follow exactly the same procedure as with the car's original system. Enable Bluetooth on your phone and connect to the module. To return to the car's original menu, simply press the Home button or hold down the Media button. I'll now let you watch a few real-time tests, and after that I'll come back with my conclusions. We'll start with Android Auto. Everything works flawlessly and even faster than I expected.
I like Mars, I like cars, driving highways under stars. Simple upgrades, clean design, making every drive feel right. The DIY workshop, join the ride. Innovation by your side, from the garage to the open road. That's the life I've always known. Touchscreen glowing in the night, camera view is crystal bright. Hands on wheel, eyes ahead, every corner smoothly led. No shortcuts, take your time, hit every wire, falls in line. Learn a skill with every build, every project gets fulfilled. Every mile, every turn, there's always something new to learn. Every tool, every plan, built by heart, built by hand. Cause I'm more than
Next, we continue with Apple CarPlay. Honestly, the experience feels more like factory-wired CarPlay than a wireless system.
Measure twice and cut once more. Learning things you've never known before. Little details one by one. That's exactly where the magic starts. It's not about the speed alone. It's making every car your own. One more feature, one more smile. Worth every single mile. Take your time and trust the way. Every project starts one note. Every lesson makes you grow further than you'll ever know. Old or new, it doesn't matter. Every build can make it better. Different brands that come and go. Building something with a soul. BMW or Mercedes, Audi, Toyota, driving daily. Every dashboard, every screen, keeping every install clean. Every mile, every turn, there's always something new to learn. Every tool, every plan, built by heart, built by hand. The DI workshop every day, helping drivers find their way. Step by step and roll by roll, every project gets a spark. I like Mars, I like cars, turning dreams into garage stars. The DIY workshop.
Next, we test AirPlay.
DIY workshop. Plug it in, let's go. I like my dogs, I don't like stock. Grab a screwdriver, beat the clock. Wireless CarPlay, Android 2. OM, look for something new. Pop the trim, don't break the clips. Every upgrade's got its tricks. Plug and play, no cutting wires. Factory style with modern vibes. I like Mars, yeah, that's my style. Making old cars worth your while. Click and stole, then hit the road. Every ride gets upgrade mode. I like Mars, fast and clean, better than you've ever seen. DIY, no mystery, building automotive history. Reverse camera, crystal clear, digital dash, shifting gears, touchscreen lighting up the night. Everything just works just right. Bluetooth calling, maps on screen, factory fit, super clean. Every project, one more win. Time to tear the dashboard in.
And finally, let's see how AutoLink works for Android. Alright, that was my tutorial. In my opinion, the installation is very simple. However, I recommend having another person with you when reinstalling the glove box because it is quite difficult to hold it in position and tighten the screws at the same time. The operating system runs very quickly and Apple CarPlay and Android Auto connect almost instantly. For this reason, I can definitely recommend this product if you want to bring your MIB1 or MIB2 unit up to modern standards. So, if you want to order it, you can visit the AUTOABC website and don't forget to use the discount code I obtained especially for you. Thanks for watching, I'll see you again very soon with another tutorial. Until then, I wish you all the best and safe travels.